Hello, everyone. This is for fundamentals of math, and more specifically, this is lesson 13.7. Okay. I'm currently using my iPad to write on this. So there may be times when an email may pop up or something may pop up. Please be mindful that be patient with me because I know it's a little weird seeing my screen and seeing random things come up. So I will apologize for that in advance. But for now, this is lesson 13.7. We did not get to cover this on Zoom. So that's what we're doing today. We're covering it on this video, and hopefully you are watching it. Please make sure that you work on lessons 13.4, 13.5, and 13.6 before you dive into 13.7. So the title of today's lesson, as you can see here, is called Translations. Translation is just a fancy way of saying slide. That means, so as you'll read it right there, okay, it says when it changes a position of a figure. So we're going to change where a position is of a figure, so like of a square, a rectangle, a triangle, and we're going to change it by sliding it around, okay? So we are going to look at some very important points. We're going to look at an original figure, which is also known as the pre-image. So original figure and pre-image mean the same exact thing. You're going to hear me say more commonly the pre-image, okay? And that just means before I slid it around. And here's a good example right here, okay? You can see that I have this four-sided figure, A, B, C, D, right? So you can probably see that there. We have that four-sided figure, and it shows that this figure slides 7 units to the left and 3 down. So what does that mean exactly? What does it mean to slide 7 to the left and 3 down? Well, if you notice, each one of these corners has a letter, A, B, C, or D. A, B, C, or D. Something keeps popping up. There we go. So to slide means that I'm actually getting each one of these points and literally moving it in a certain direction. 7 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 down. 1, 2, 3. And then you see how A now becomes this little A with an apostrophe, right? And I can do the same for these other ones here. Sorry for the random pop-ups. But I can do the same for B. We can slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 down. I can do the same for D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 down. Do the same for C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 down. So as you can see, each one of those points slid 7 to the left and 3 down. This is what we call a translation or a slide. Now, if you notice, these are not your typical A and B, right? If you notice, in this very first one, the originals were called A, B, C, and D, right? But now, when you go look at it later, it has an A, B, C, and D, but with a little apostrophe, right? Do you notice that little comma there? Okay, that's what we call prime. So this is called A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. And what that means is that this is where the new spot is. Anytime you hear the word prime, that means that is the new image, okay? Or the new point. So the new image or new point. So we had our pre-image, right? Which is called the original image. And we have our new image, meaning after I created the points. So for example, we're going to practice together and you're going to kind of watch me. If you want to try it out yourself, feel free to pause this video. And if you're still kind of confused, rewind, fast forward, pause where you need to go, and hopefully you get a better idea. But what we're going to do now is we are going to get this triangle that has the letters A, B, and C, and we're going to move each of those points 2 up and 5 to the right. So I'm going to start off with my letter A, and if you notice, A is kind of a little bit there's really no 1 here. I'm going to kind of draw, if you notice, it kind of goes 2, 4, 6, 8. It's kind of weird, right? So if we want, we're going to put a 1, 3, 5, 7, so we make sure we have all that. And I'll even do it this way. 1, 3, 5, 5, and 7. Okay, and I'm going to move, as it says, 2 up and 1 to the right. So watch me as I move it 2 up and 1 to the right. I'm going to use a pink color here. This is right here 1 and 2. So that's 2 up. That's done. But once I go 2 up, I can't just stop there. I got to go 5 to the right. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of like in the middle of that square. And wherever that lands, that's where I'm going to put my dot. I'm going to call it now A prime, or A with a little apostrophe. And let's actually name the coordinate, or the ordered pair. It looks like it's all the way at 7, 7, and it goes up to 3. So 7, 3. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with B now. I'm going to go 2 up and 5 to the right, okay? Now I do have some missing spots here. I'm going to put -1 and -3 and -5 and -7 just to kind of fill it in, okay? So again, going to go 2 up, 5 to the right. I'm going to use my red point here for now. So here's 2 up, 1, 2, and 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It kind of looks like it's on that line, very close to 6. So that's exactly where I'm going to put my line. I'm going to call this now not just B, but B prime. And I'm going to label the point. It looks like it went all the way from, it looks like it's at -1 all the way up to +6. So my point is at -1, +6. And remember, if you get confused, please rewind, fast forward, ask a parent for help or an older sibling, okay? But we got one more to go, and we're going to move 2 up and 5 to the right on this one. So I'm going to do this one a bit faster. 1, 2, and then 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like I'm right on that 2, so I'm going to put a dot right on the 2. I'm going to call it C prime, and my point is at 2, 0. Once I have all points, A prime, B prime, and C prime, I'm going to connect each of the points. And if you notice, I have the same exact triangle, but what does it look like it did? It looked like it just moved over that way, right? That's exactly what happened. You slid, or you translated the figure 2 to the left, 2 up and 5 to the right. Okay? So now we're going to try something else. We're going to take a look at this one, and we're going to see how the graph, or how this triangle moved. Okay? So I'm going to choose any letter, and I'm going to choose a color. I'm going to choose orange here. And I'm going to see if my graph, if this triangle went down and to the right, or did it go to the left and up? Now, how do I know which one is the original? Well, the original, or what we call the pre-image, right, from a moment ago, a way that we know is it won't have that little apostrophe. So this one does have the apostrophe, meaning this is the new, meaning this is the old. So I started up here and went to my A prime, B prime, and C prime. So let's see how many times it moved. I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to go from either A to A prime or B to B prime or C to C prime to see how many times it moved. So let's see, I'm going to count. I'm going to start with A, and it looked like it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I got to go one more. 9 down. So it went 9 down. And then it went 1, 2, 3, 4 in which direction? To the right. So it went 9 down and 4 to the right. And that is your answer. Now, in your book, they're going to ask you to do a little bit more than that, okay? And we're going to talk about it here. Here's the actual answer. 9 spaces down, 4 to the right. They're going to ask you to do what's called writing a rule. They want you to write a rule. So off to the side, I'm going to show you an interesting rule that you should follow, okay? So every time you're moving on your x-axis and your y-axis. Now, if you don't remember, your x-axis is the one that goes left and right. And your y-axis is the one that goes up and down, okay? So every time I see that, right, and I'm moving either up and down or left and right, I'm going to write a rule. So what is the rule? What's so important? Well, every time you see x plus, that means you're going to the right. Every time you see y plus, that means you're going up. Every time you have x minus, that means you're going to the left. And every time you have y minus, you're going to go down. All right? So what they want us to do is with this information right here, they want us to write a rule. So I'm going to write it in orange here. And I'm going to put an X and a Y. And I'm either going to put a plus or a minus sign or a plus and a minus sign here. Let's see what we need to put. All right, it says that I went down 9. So if I went down, let's see. Oh, it shows us that right there. I have to do y minus. So I got to put y minus. And then what I'm going to put here is how many times it went down. It went down 9 times. So y minus 9. Then it shows to the right 4. Your right means you're going to put x plus. So x plus. How many times did it go to the right? 4. And you just wrote your rule. This is how you write a rule. And it shows that here in your printed notes. See? X plus 4, y minus 9. So now they're going to give you a figure. They're going to say this figure has been translated or it slid 3 to the left and 5 up. All right? 3 to the left and 5 up. Let's kind of go back here for a moment. Okay, I'm going to erase. If I'm going to the left, I'm going to use x minus. And take a look what they did here. X minus, however many times they went to the left, which is 3. Then it says they went up 5. And if it says up, I'm going to use y plus. So y plus 5. And this is how I write my rule. So sometimes they're going to ask you to actually graph. Sometimes they might want you to write this down. Sometimes they might ask you for the rule. Sometimes they might really want you to put some points, okay? Like they might actually want you to slide a certain amount of times, okay? But in conclusion, this is how you do lesson 13.7. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and pause and rewind as many times as you like. Have a good day, everyone.